Welcome, listener. You've stumbled upon the Unexpected Podcast. Whether you're meant to be here or not, you might want to prepare yourself for a world of stories you won't hear anywhere else. They are, after all, quite unexpected.
Success! It is what every man, woman, and child strives for throughout their entire miserable lives. Humans have always had a deep, insatiable yearning for the respect and admiration of their friends, families, and lovers. But as we've seen throughout history, some lost souls have pursued their idea of success to their own peril. And for the rare few who do find it, they only want more, and then more, and even more. It never ends, never stops. It is a relentless and futile pursuit destined to go too far, leading down a winding road of depravity, debauchery, and, as our next unfortunate soul is about to find out, even death. I bring to you now the horrifying nightmare of the terrifying tale of Foolery.
It was the 80s, 1988 to be exact. The good old US of A was riding high on the stock market. Rain Man was the biggest theatrical hit of the year. On TV, Who's the Boss, starring Tony Danza, was in the middle of its fourth incredible season. And then there was me, an overweight, balding, 42-year-old real estate salesman with nothing but a bunch of lousy leads. I was down on my luck, recently divorced, and in a heck of a lot of financial trouble. My whole life was headed for disaster. And then, one phone call changed everything. Though, if I hadn't made that one little mistake, maybe she'd still be alive. I remember how it all began, with that recent college graduate, brown-noser Brad.
All right, everyone, let's hear it one more time for Brad. Wow, another record-breaking quarter. And all thanks to our number one salesman, Brad. And you've only been here a year. Just incredible, Brad.
Well, what can I say? It comes down to a lot of hard work and a little luck.
Oh, Brad, stop being so modest. You truly are an inspiration around here. Everyone should aspire to have the same work ethic you do.
Ugh. You see what I mean? I couldn't stand that little pissant. And it almost felt like my boss, Mr. Roy Mansky, was looking right at me the entire time, too.
Joe, what are you doing?
Just drinking some coffee, Mr. Roy Bansky.
Coffee's for closers. Now how about we get you to crack open this bottle of bubbly for old Brad here?
Yeah, sure thing, Mr. Roy Bansky.
It just might be the first productive thing you've done all quarter. 3 cheers for Brad, everyone!
Hip-hip hooray! Hip-hip hooray! Hip-hip hooray!
I was tired of being the butt of everyone's joke. From that day forward, I was determined to outdo Brad for next quarter's sales. I knew my work had to begin that very night. Hey Dirk, Blaine, how you guys enjoying the Brad butt-kissing bonanza?
What's wrong, Joe? You a little jealous of the new kid?
Yeah, afraid you can't hang with a guy half your age.
Fuck you.
Jeez, that was a little out of line. But come on, Blaine, go easy on the old man. His wife just left him for Rick Tony.
Of Tony, and Merplestern, the big-time law office in New York City?
No, that's Mick and Dick Tony. Rick is the youngest brother, kind of the bad boy of the family. He wasn't too happy they passed him over for Dougie Merplestern, so...
All right, guys, enough already. I can't listen to one more word about Rick Tony.
So what's eating you, Joe? Are you really that upset about Brad?
Yeah, No, I don't know. I think I'm just letting him get on my nerves. It doesn't help that Mr. Roybanski seems to really enjoy rubbing it in every chance he gets.
We get it, man. I mean, it can't be easy to be your age and still be a junior salesman. Plus, you're a bit overweight, bald too, recently divorced, just to recap. But at the end of the day, there's actually a simple solution to your problems.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Just beat Brad in sales next quarter.
Yeah, man. Simple.
Come on, guys, as that actor from the new television show says, cut it out. You got some premium leads or something?
I know, I do. Her name's Cynthia from accounting. And if I play my cards right tonight, she'll lead me right into her studio apartment on South Miller Avenue.
Yeah, lead you for some sex.
Yeah, right. That's the entire joke.
Oh, nice.
And that's pretty much how the rest of the night went. It was becoming clear to me that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't cut out for the fast-paced world of real estate. I was feeling more and more like Tony on that episode of Who's the Boss when he found out his late wife might have been having an affair with a painter. And yet if I hadn't stayed at that party for the 5 minutes it took to call my ex about picking up the mustard ingredients for her struggling homemade mustard business, unfortunately titled Let's Get Mustarded, Blaine might have not approached me with a sheet of paper that would change my life forever.
Hey, Joe. Sorry about everything we said back there. Guess we were just in a partying mood.
It's okay, Blaine. I get it. It's becoming clear to me that maybe, just maybe, I'm not cut out for the fast-paced world of real estate.
Don't be so down on yourself, man. I know you still got it in you. You were a legend around here back when Dirk and I first started.
A legend? Really?
Yeah, man, and, well, if I'm being honest, I've been hearing rumors that, well, that you might get canned soon, and so I wanted to help you. Here.
What's this?
It's nothing, really. Only a few premium leads I've picked up. I think they're really promising.
Really? Blaine, come on. You know I can't take these from you.
It's okay, Joe. I want you to have them. I know the only thing you need to get you back on your feet is a few sales, and you can't get better than these names right here. Trust me.
And so I trust him. I did. In fact, I got started on the list right away. And wouldn't you know it, I was able to make 3 sales in 3 calls, even after 7 p.m. I never felt so alive in my profession as I did that night. In fact, you could say I felt like Tony in that episode of Who's the Boss where he competed with Angela selling their tie-dye t-shirts. But friends, let me tell you, if there ever was a case of needing to quit while you're ahead, that was me that night. I should have stopped at 3, had another drink, gone home buzzed with both liquor and the feeling of being successful for the first time in a decade. But foolish me, I pressed on, and blame it on my excitement, blame it on the booze, blame it on the late hour of the night. But somewhere along the way, I hit a 9 instead of a 6. And that's all it took to take me down the terrible path to a man named Tom Foolery.
You've reached the number for Tom Foolery. I'm unable to pick up the phone right now, but if you could please leave your name and number, I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Though I'd only reached his answering machine, I couldn't help but be stunned by the name. I mean, who in their right mind would name their son Tom if their last name was already Foolery? And why wouldn't he later change his name? Or at least go by Thomas or Tommy? Tommy Foolery is odd, sure, but you can still have a normal life with it. It was a riddle wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in another riddle that I found myself obsessed with. I couldn't sleep at night. I forgot to feed my cat the next morning. I even smiled and said hello to Rick Tony when he accompanied my ex-wife to pick up her mustard. I was out of my mind. And it wouldn't cease. Not even at work the next day.
So, Joe, how are those premium leads working out for you?
Oh, yes, leads.
Don't tell me you trashed my best leads, man. I worked hard for those.
Oh, no, Blaine. No, I didn't. Actually, I've made 3 sales so far.
3 sales. That's it?
What do you mean that's it?
It's already 2 in the afternoon. How many phone calls have you even made today?
I couldn't believe it. 6 hours had gone by in my day, just like that, all of them spent thinking about that mysterious Tom Foolery and his answering machine message. Blaine was right. I needed to get going on those leads. But I knew I couldn't make another dent unless I scratched that itch one more time. I picked up the phone and dialed, and what I heard made me lose more than just another night's sleep.
You've reached the number for Tom Foolery. I'm unable to pick up the phone right now, but if you could please leave your name and... Oh, hello there, Joe. Calling back again, I see. Sorry I wasn't able to answer last night. I know I should be there for you more these days. Perhaps one day we can do something about it. Unfortunately for now, I've got to run. Until next time, Joe.
The Unexpected Storytelling Podcast will return after a short word from our sponsors.
Dad, I'm hungry.
Hold on there, Billy. I'll make something for dinner.
Dad, I'm hungry now.
I said shut the hell up.
You've been drinking again, haven't you?
You sound just like your mom. You make me sick. I'm an adult. I can do what I want.
You're not even my real dad.
Why, you little...
Ow! You just threw a toaster at me.
You keep mouthing off, and I'll throw a microwave at you.
Please, can we just go to Tony's all-day buffet?
Tony's all-day buffet? What's that?
It's only the greatest buffet in the state. They have everything you could want. Fish, pasta, salad bar, even ice cream.
Yeah? Do they have chicken wings?
They sure do. And the coolest part is, kids under 10 eat for free.
How old are you?
14.
Worthless. Just like your mother. Where the hell is this place?
Down on Highway 10. Just past. Let's get us started.
Hey, that's only 45 minutes from here. We'll be eating in no time.
You said it. Dad.
Thanks, son.
Should we wait for Mom to get home? She'll be here in about 10 minutes.
No, let's go. Tony's Buffet, bringing families together since about 3 years ago.
We now return you to your tale here on the Unexpected Podcast.
There was no way around it. I was being haunted by the mystery of Tom Foolery 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How did he know so much about my life? Was it someone I knew, playing a practical joke on me? Did Blaine somehow know that I dial a 9 instead of a 6 and call some friend of his who was in on the gag? It sounds crazy, I know, but I had to explore every possibility to keep myself sane. The only thing I knew I couldn't do was dial that number again. At least, not until my ex-wife Shaylin stopped by one faithful night. A night I wish I could relive.
Oh, Joe, I've been thinking, this whole divorce thing, it's silly, isn't it? I mean, can't we just find a way to at least still be friends?
You left me to go hot rodding with that no-good Rick Tony. How are we supposed to be friendly after that?
Oh, come on, Joe. You and Rick Tony, you're just two completely different people. He fulfills my needs in ways you never could. That doesn't mean we can't still be friends, does it?
Shaylin, I have to be honest with myself. I just really need to think things over for a while.
Well, when you're ready, give me a call. Here's my new number.
New number.
Yeah, it's my new business line Rick Tony helped me set up. He's good with things of that nature. He's good with, well, quite a few things, if you know what I mean. To put it in plain English, I'm talking about sex things.
I was seething, to be honest. But my emotions took a back seat as soon as I scanned the number on the sheet of paper she gave me. It was the very same one as Tom Foolery's.
Joe? Hello, Earth to Joe? Are you going to give me a call or what?
Is this some kind of sick joke, Shaylin?
What do you mean?
I withheld from saying more. I wasn't about to let her pull the wool over my eyes any longer. Instead, I dialed the number she gave me.
You've reached the number for Tom Oh, hello, Joe. Good to hear from you again. I was beginning to get worried. Looks like Shaylin's there with you now?
All right, Tom, out with it. What's going on with this shit?
Joe, if you're talking right now, you must know that I can't hear you. This is my answering machine after all. However, there is one thing I can do for you, being that you've proven to be such a constant companion. Kill your ex-wife right now, and I promise I'll cover all your tracks and pin it on that lousy good-for-nothing Rick Tony.
You want me to kill Shaylin?
Joe, stop asking me questions. For the last time, this is only an answering machine. Now, kill Shaylin. Trust me, this is the best thing for you and your career. You need that animal instinct to outsell Brad this quarter, don't you? You need to close. So, start by killing your ex-wife.
As crazy as it sounds now, in that moment, I felt like the only thing I wanted to do was kill Shaylin. And so that's what I did.
Joe? Who was that? Who's Tom? Joe? Joe, why are you approaching me with that phone cord in your hands like that? I don't need to make a call. Joe, are you going to strangle me, Joe? Joe. No, Joe. Joe!
Suddenly, I had a dead body on my hands. I had to call Tom Foolery back to make sure he was a man of his word.
You've reached the number. Ah, Joe, you again. So you did it. You killed your ex-wife. I'm so proud of you. Well, as you'll see, I'm a man of my word. This is all about to go away, and old Rick Tony's gonna be in for quite the surprise. As for us, Joe, forget we ever met. Throw away my number. Don't call back. It's over between us. Trust me, it's for the better.
Over between us. Words I've heard before. Words from the dead woman on my living room floor. I had to hand it to old Tom Foolery, though. He cleaned things up real well while I was out. Soon, Shaylin's body was out of my apartment, and in no less than 2 days, I saw Rick Tony on the news, arrested in connection with her killing. Us boys in the office had a field day with it.
Hey, Joe. What luck, huh? Looks like the guy who stole your wife's about to get a few thousand volts put through him.
I always knew there was something up with the youngest Tony brother.
Joe? Hey, you don't look so good. You handling this all okay?
Yeah, I guess so.
You don't actually feel bad about your ex-wife getting offed by her lover, do you?
I don't know how to feel, guys. This is all just so crazy. I never thought I'd be wrapped up in all this.
It is kind of strange that the police didn't even question you, being her ex-husband and all.
Yeah. And didn't people say the last place they knew she was at your apartment?
I know. It's strange, all right? The whole cockadoodle thing is strange. And it's all because of tomfoolery.
You think Rick Tony murdering your ex-wife is just a bunch of tomfoolery?
That's a weird thing to say. Seems more serious than just some run-of-the-mill tomfoolery.
Not tomfoolery. Tomfoolery. He's this guy who I accidentally called after going through Blaine's leads. I couldn't get his name out of my head. So I called back. And suddenly he knew everything about my life. He's the one who told me to kill my ex-wife.
Is that true? That you gave him your premium leads, Blaine?
Talking to those two idiots was making me feel even more stressed. So I took off to cool my jets outside. But just like Tony in that episode of Who's the Boss where he has to buy his daughter's first bra, I just couldn't figure out how to get out of a bad situation gracefully. Case in point, I ended up running into none other than Brown Noser Brad on my way out.
Hey there, Big Joe. Heard you had to resort to stealing Blaine's leads just to get a leg up on passing me in sales this quarter. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's no way in hell that's gonna happen.
Out of my way, Brad. I'm headed outside to cool my jets.
Like I said, Joe, no freaking way. Mark my words, if you thought Rick Tony stealing and murdering your ex-wife was bad, just wait till you see what I do with you on the sales floor.
I know better. I know I shouldn't have let Brad get to me. I know I should have just ignored him, turned the other cheek, all that crap. But it was simply the wrong time, and I was simply the wrong guy to mess with. I know Tom Foolery told me to never call back again, but I figured he'd understand. A guy like Brad simply didn't need to exist in the world. And if there was someone I could count on to help me with a problem like Brad, it was Tom Foolery. I went back upstairs, back to my desk, and dialed the number I knew all too well by then. But what I didn't know was what or who would be waiting for me on the other end.
You've reached the number for Shay Nanigans. I'm unable to pick up the phone right now, but if you could please leave your name and number, I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible.
I couldn't believe it. Did Shay Lynn know Tom Foolery after all? And why was she suddenly calling herself Shay Nanigans? Blaming it on my anger and my own hysteria, I thought it'd be wise to call back, just to double check.
You've reached the number for Shay Nanigans. Oh, hello, Joe. My dear ex-husband, Joe. Don't worry, I don't hold it against you that you killed me. In fact, I just heard about the kind of stress you're under from Tom, and to be quite honest, I don't blame you. If there's anything I can help with, let me know. Maybe cleaning up Brad's body after you murder him?
It was an offer I couldn't refuse. An offer that, if I'm being honest with myself, I was waiting to hear. I hung up the phone and found Brad alone in the break room.
Big Joe! Here to get my advice on how to make your first big sale? Hey, what are you doing? That's my knife. I was going to use it to cut a slice of Janice and Accounting's huckleberry pie. Joe! Joe, what are you doing with that knife? Joe!
Brad! Brown noser! Brown noser! You like that? You like it when I twist that knife? Yeah, you like that, Brad. Little fucking Brad. Brad Brown Noser. Fucking little Brad the Brown Noser. How you like them leads? How you like them leads, Brad? Get some! Easier than I thought. At least that's what I was hoping at the time. I don't remember much from the rest of that afternoon. I know I went back to my desk, tried to make a few more sales from Blaine's list, generally believing that somehow, some way, my ex-wife, who now went by the name Shay Nanigans, would clean up my mess. But in the end, I found out that she was playing me like a fiddle, the way she had our entire marriage when the police showed up at my office.
Hello, Joe. My name's Officer Tim Jones, and I'm here to arrest you for the murder of Brad.
Murder? Me? But you've got the wrong guy, Officer Tim.
Oh, is that so? Well then, I suppose the name Tom Foolery means nothing to you? That's what I thought. Get this filthy scum out of my sight!
But how? How did you know?
Why, you listened to the answering machine tapes, Joe. All of them. He clearly identified you on each one.
Who led you to the tapes? Tell me. I have a right to know.
You have a right to jack squat. But if you must know, let's say we got a pretty good lead from a young lady named Miss Nanigans.
No!
All right, Officer Squat, take this piece of trash out of here. I have the feeling in 6 months he'll be tied down, strapped in, and having an electrifying night.
Oh no! You're talking about sex-type things, aren't you?
What? No, you freak! I was talking about executing you! What in tarnation?
And that's how I ended up here. Strapped to this chair.
We all know how you ended up here. I arrested you, remember? And everyone else already heard the story on Dateline months ago. I can't believe you convinced us to delay your execution by 4 hours just to tell this whole ridiculous story again.
Well, Officer Tim, maybe you'd like to know my reason for telling the story.
Reason? Oh, well, fine, I suppose. Out with it, Mr. Kinround. But it better be quick. No more dilly-dallying.
I wanted everyone here to learn something today. I wanted everyone to know the importance of dialing the right number. Because if you don't, you just might end up on the wrong side of someone who's Joe Kinround.
Well, that was another huge waste of time. All right, fry it, boys, and give this sucker an extra few seconds of juice.
Like the stories you hear on The Unexpected? Consider sharing our show with family and friends, along with any strangers you come across. Provide a little something unexpected to someone else's day. You can find and subscribe to our show on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere else you stream your podcasts. We're on social media, on Unexpected Show on Twitter, and The Unexpected Podcast on Facebook. You can also find out what we're up to on our website, www.theunexpectedpodcast.com. Thank you for listening. Now let's get back to our bone-chilling tale.
Well, that was quite the shocking ending, was it not? And to think just one small mistake led to so many deaths. And it all could have been avoided had old Joe Kinround only stopped to pay attention to what he was doing. May it be a lesson to us all to not let our drive for success end up driving us. After all, the place it might lead to could end up being very unexpected indeed. Should you be brave enough to join us again, we'll have another terrifying tale to tell you. Perhaps this time with a little less tomfoolery. I like that.
The Unexpected Storytelling Podcast is written, produced, and directed by Andrew Soucek and Aric Bergstrom. Each story is somehow a work of fiction, and with the exception of public figures like Tony Danza, any resemblance to persons living or dead is coincidental and unexpected.